All right. What up? This is How to Airbrush, part 2 of the series. Appreciate you coming through for a second time. All right, let's see what we got here. How your setup looking? You got your... See, I'm fucking up already. What I just did there. That is why you should always keep this part right here on your airbrush. Sometimes you have to take it off in order to loosen up your needle and pull it out to clean it. But it would do you good to keep this on for those times when you drop that thing, alright? Because sometimes it'll land just like this here and it'll pop that tip and bend your needle even. So anyway, alright, you got your airbrush. We talking about the setup now, right? You got your airbrush. You got it. Airbrush. Alright. It's hooked up to your manifold. This is a home rigged manifold, but they sell them, already made. I just took some pipe and put them together with some couplings, made my own. But I think anyway, you got your cord, your air hose hooked up to your manifold, hooked up to your compressor so you can have some air. Again, this is a double action airbrush. Double action meaning you can push the button down and get air, and pull back and get paint. There's one, there's two, that's a double action airbrush, right? Alright, chances are, I don't know if this hose is making the camera jump, but if you got your kit, I don't know if you already got your bottles, or they might come with those type of bottles depending on what airbrush you have. You might just have this little cup. Either way, we got to get us some paint, running through there, and something to clean it with. As part of your setup and your maintenance is to keep it clean. Clean tools help you to have good, clean work. Efficient too, because when your airbrush is not clean, it's hard for the paint to flow through, and it just takes a lot of time. And if you're doing it to make money, if you're in business to airbrush, time is money, and you want to be efficient, and you want your workflow to flow smoothly, right? You want everything to work smooth so you can get the customer in and done and send them out happy, all right? The setup, the maintenance. We got the setup. Again, you can use water. Fill a bottle up with water and keep it clean. That's if you're working on shoes or t-shirts or clothing. If you're working on something a little more heavy, like helmets or cars or something that uses enamels, then you want to use a lacquer thinner to keep it clean. We're talking about keeping it clean, right? Lacquer thinner. Oftentimes, just using a water-based paint. If you're not maintaining it, if you're not like every day you come out and you practice or you working, and then you get done and you don't clean it out, overnight this stuff will dry up and it'll get rubbery and stuff around there, and it'll clog up your airbrush. So you can use some of this to loosen it up to make it easier to clean. Then you can switch back to your water. Again, that's if you're working on garments and t-shirts and whatnot. Okay. Setup, maintenance. I think that's about it as far as your setup. Okay, we can move right on to handling the airbrush and the control of your airbrush. And while showing you that, I can go ahead and give you some practice exercises that you can use to practice on in order to get the hang of using the airbrush or handling the airbrush. A lot of it is self-explanatory, but just in case you need someone to talk you through it, that's the purpose of this video. A lot of people are already artistically inclined, already has an airbrush, knows what to do. This is just a 101 or very, very beginner course, or beginner just to start the person out who has never seen an airbrush or never known how it works. Yeah, we're gonna go through the handling. First of all, you have to make sure that you can put your index finger on the trigger, and you need some support of your bottle, or if you're using the cup, or depending on the airbrush that you have, it may be a gravity feed, or a top feed where you feed the paint in through the top and it flows like that. So that way you don't have to worry about having a support hand or using your fingers to support your bottle. Some people use two hands, some people use one hand, left or right. Again, heck, I've even seen people use one hand to hold the airbrush and the other hand for the trigger. I think I've seen that. Anyway, you got, again, double action. Down for air, back for paint. See that? Reset this camera here. Down for paint, down for air, back for paint. See that? Down, back, index finger. I forgot to speak on having an area to paint that's, you don't mind getting messy, because this can be a messy hobby or profession. I'm out in my garage, so I have me a wall dedicated to it. But anyway, hopefully you got your easel as well. I have an easel over here with my wood hardboard that I spoke of in the first video, I believe. Cut with the edges and whatnot for my shirts and my jackets and whatnot. Got us a piece of paper stuck up here, but got some good old-fashioned Pelon. Yeah, we can use it. Kind of has the consistency or the texture of the shirt almost. One thing about airbrushing is the different surfaces that you paint on and how it reacts to the paint. When you're painting on garments or on shirts, it tends to absorb the paint. So to me, I think it's a little easier to, make lines and whatnot, as opposed to a hard surface like a car hood or license plate or a helmet. It's more slicker, and some people turn the pressure down on the compressor so it doesn't shoot so hard and make the paint splatter. But on textiles or canvases or stuff like this here that absorbs paint, it also absorbs that air as well and takes the paint better. Let's see if we can talk about how the airbrush works, right? Got some black here, got my black bottom. Do some practice exercises. You gotta get a hang of, see that, okay. Gotta get a hang of handling the airbrush. You wanna have like a free flowing, or have your arms loose, your elbows loose, at the same time holding your airbrush tight, of course, to be able to make free flowing lines or marks. So let's start out by doing a dot, right? Real fine dot. That's me barely pulling back with the air. I'm gonna do a larger dot. Pull back just a little bit more. It's just a slight pull. And as you can see, when I just push down the air, I'm still getting paint. That shouldn't be. And usually that's because the tip is clogged, or the needle is not pushed all the way up, snug into the tip. So you usually have to clean it out, because a lot of times it's clogged up paint that's got it unable to fit snug. Hold on. Right. Yeah. Now we're working well. Something great. It's not gonna be perfect again. But anyway, let's work on just doing some dots, right? Do a series of dots. Bigger dots. Oh, to keep in mind, the closer you are to the surface, the smaller your line or your dot can be, right? Say for instance, you pull back all the way, right? And give it air. Look at that. And you get closer with the same distance pulled back, it's gonna be tighter. So you got that spider, it splattered out a little bit. It's because of all the pressure, but you know, that's something you won't have to worry about just painting on, like I said, a jacket or a t-shirt. This right here is a little slick, but it mimics t-shirts a little bit. So yeah, that's your when you pull back, you get more paint, you get a wider spray, you stay closer forward, and you get a tighter spray. So circles. It's almost like writing your name in the air or doing a circle in the air, just doing this number here. I don't know if you ever seen old movie Karate Kid, when Mr. Miyagi told Karate Kid to wash on, wash off. That's a good technique. Wash on, wash off. Wash on, wash off. Alright, we can do some hazes or some tight lines. Hazes. Also, the quicker you're able to make your shape or your line is the better chance of you having a smooth line or a smooth line. In fact, let's try some lines. Actually, those are circles, right? Just work on doing that. Do them quickly. Straight, going up and down, side to side, up and down, side to side. They have a stroke called dagger strokes or rat tails. That's when you go from big to small. It's a dagger stroke. Rat tail is when you go from big to small. And a wiggly. These are just exercises that I recommend, practicing on daily. If you want to. It's just a tool to create artwork with. You find your different ways in which you use the airbrush to do your thing with, right? So yeah, dagger strokes, rat tails. Practice this, and you'll get the hang of it. After a while, I think it took me about 3 months to really get the hang of it, and to be able to finally start rendering photos or rendering pictures that I, was interested in drawing. Hope I went over everything clear and thorough enough, and keep practicing this, and we'll go on to the next video. We'll do, I guess, lettering next. I think that's what we'll do. So today we covered the setup and practice exercises, right? You got your airbrush, you can start painting. Okay, that does it for this second video. Sorry I was late. I got tied up with a lot of the holiday rush. I'm gonna be a one-man show. I'm back and forth between the airbrushing, the tattooing, and the screen printing, and I have to do my own video editing. So it took me a minute to get the second video done, but I will get better with the consistency. I hope it was helpful in any kind of way. I'm pretty sure some things I didn't cover. One important thing is ventilation. When you're airbrushing those fumes, especially depending on what kind of paint you're using, all of it is not good for your respiratory system or your lungs or whatnot, or breathing. I don't sometimes I wear a mask, but I fail at wearing a mask all the time, so I'm pretty much hard-headed. But an open door, an open window, a fan, or get you a mask, that's very important. Is there anything else you have a question about? Send me a message. If you in Memphis area, Memphis, Tennessee, and want an in-person instruction, or have any questions you want to ask in person, you can send me a message and we can arrange that. And I think that is about it. So yeah, appreciate you coming through again, and peace.